You're welcome back to the Arise interview with me, Christian Okolugbo, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The NDDC saga has many sides of unending revelations. The Niger Delta Development Commission, established in 2000 to assuage the underdevelopment of the region and its people and spur rapid development, has become its worst nightmare. The probe of the NDDC is that the interim committee allegedly spent 81.5 billion naira in 7 months without due process, although the IMC is saying they spent just about 75 billion naira. But during the grilling exercise by the House Committee on NDDC, the acting managing director of the commission, Professor Ponde, fainted, causing a mild drama. Also, the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, while being grilled by the committee, accused members of the National Assembly of being the greatest beneficiaries of the majority of the contracts awarded by NDDC. However, the Speaker of the House of Representatives has given the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs Ministry 48 hours to name the lawmakers who received contracts from the NDDC, and it gets even messier.
Fifth term here, I've never once collected anything from the National Assembly, and I know I speak for a great majority of members of this House. Great majority. And because of that, I will take this matter and this allegation and accusation very serious. And I will give the minister 24 to 48 hours. And clerk, I want you to back this up with a letter from this House. To give the minister 24 to 48 hours to publish the names, the contracts so given, the dates, because obviously these things will be documented. Unveil the companies of the 60% projects that were given to members of the National Assembly, failing which
Okay, for more on these, I'm now being joined via WebEx by Kenny Okolugbo, who is a former commissioner of Delta State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, DESO PADEC. Hello, Kenny. We've seen all the dramas, played out yesterday. Some have even, titled it as, theater of the absurd that is unending in Nigeria. But who do we believe? The Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs Ministry or the legislators? And now this ultimatum by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, very stern one at that. Kenny?
Well, if you look at it holistically, I wouldn't be speaking for the House of Representatives or the Senate. But I would also apportion some blame to the legislatures. Why do I say this? If they had kept to their resolve not to pass the 2019 budget until the board was sworn in, they wouldn't have found themselves in this impasse of having to set up committees, both in the bicameral legislature, first to probe the IMC, which is now a case of the hunter becoming the hunted. Because basically, we all know that the NDDC is a baby of the National Assembly. They created the NDDC, and there are laws governing the NDDC. And by the act of the NDDC, the IMC is an illegal contraption. And so, when the board was nominated and cleared by the Senate stood by its ground, and the House of Reps stood by its ground that there will be no budget 2019 for this IMC to operate, we will not have found ourselves in this situation. I think that's the angle I'll look at it from.
Then, how do you reconcile the ultimatum given by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila? Because this touches on the integrity of members of the National Assembly. And that's why he has said within 48 hours. Do you think the legislature could push more on this issue?
Oh, the speaker is on course. If I was the speaker, I would even summon him to the sitting of the entire house. I wouldn't even tell him to publish the names, so that, because I don't think the presiding officer did a good job yesterday. If he did a good job yesterday, we would have been able to get him to talk more. Yes, he made some sweeping accusations as the chairman of the committees, but those accusations should have been backed with facts, because if the chairmen are culpable, it doesn't mean that the committee members are culpable, or the other members of the House of Reps or Senate. They should concentrate on those who are culpable and don't allow it to impede on the privileges of the members. So I think the speaker was very correct when he gave him 48 hours to publish the names. He's in order.
Yeah, it's in order. But now, looking at the minister himself, while making his submissions, he never signs the oath that he swore to. A smart aleck, or is being smart, or was that, inadvertent?
Well, it's very possible he will blame it to be inadvertent. He would have been inadvertent. But a situation where the former acting MD, Joy Nune, had accused him of not signing anything, it therefore lends a bit of credence to what he has said. But then again, look at it. I had a program with the executive director of projects, Cairo Jugo, on national television, and he accused me of lying that they did not award any projects to Signora, for example, for the COVID, for 5.4 billion. But yesterday, on the floor of the House of Reps, the minister confirmed that the contract was awarded to Signora for 5.4 billion, but he cancelled it because they did that without his knowledge, and still awarded another job in the same tone for 4.89 billion to Osmosev. So what am I trying to say? It is a case of dog eats dog. That's exactly what I'm seeing in the IMC, the minister, and between a few maybe legislatures that they say have compromised themselves. This is why the president at this material point in time should save us of the mess that we have found ourselves in. He should take the bull by the horn. He should immediately disband this IMC and set in motion the process of inaugurating the board.
Yeah, inaugurating a new board, or the same board that the Senate had confirmed?
I think if you look at it, the Senate has confirmed, just like you rightly said. Why would he go the hog of nominating another board? I don't know what was wrong with that board. I was in his mind when he did that nomination. But what I actually think is, if he had gone with that board, there would have been checks and balances. We have members representing each state, which is the 9 states of the Niger Delta. We have the chairman, who would have acted as a check and balance, with the managing director, who would have been the chief accounting officer of that board. Then we have the 2 executive directors, who will also be checkmated by the managing director. I don't think all this malfeasance would have been that serious. Don't get me wrong. Other boards are also being investigated in terms of the forensic that we are all supporting. So it might not have been 100%, but it wouldn't have been this bad. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yes, it wouldn't have been this bad, but the IMC had the blessing of the governors of the Niger Delta in 30 seconds, because according to the minister of the Niger Delta ministry, they convinced Mr. President to set up the IMC.
I think the governors would have their very deep regrets at this point in time, because in the acts that set up the NDDC, they are members of the board of trustees, so they are supposed to be advisors to the NDDC. This one singular action they took is one action I hope that they regret. Yeah,
thanks so very much, Kenny Okolugbo. Wish we had more time, to interrogate this, but we gotta go now. Some other time.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
On the Arise interview. Well, that's it for this edition of the Arise interview. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.